Well, here's my old Yamaha DX7 II-D keyboard, which is in need of a little bit of repair. After over 30 years, it still plays. But it's got two broken A keys here. You hear the rattle, and this one here. And the memory battery is really low. It's supposed to be 2.2 volts and it's down to 1.6. So I'm gonna have to open this thing up and repair the keys and replace the battery. So this should be fun. This particular version of the DX7 has a memory capacity of 32 voices in the internal memory, and it has another 32 voices that you store on a cartridge like this, and you pull those in. So before I take this apart, and especially before I disconnect the battery, I have to back up the internal memory, otherwise I'll lose all the sounds. Aside from using the cartridges for backup, you can also, on this keyboard has a floppy disk drive, so you can also back up your cartridge and your internal memory on a floppy disk drive. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the disk in the side here and go through the process of backing up the internal memory into that disk. Now the floppy disk I have in there has already been used to save the internal memory, so I'm just going to save over it. According to the directions, it says hit the edit button. Hit the edit button, and it says hit number 16. Okay, and then it tells you to choose a directory. That's the directory I'm going to put it in. It's already there. It says internal. And then after that it says press the yes button. Well, press the right cursor button. Okay, so we move over to save. And then they tell you to put in a file name. I'll just put INT for now. So you got to hold down the edit button and type find the letters here. INT for now. We'll just go with that. Just to see if it works. Okay. Press the yes button, display will say, are you sure? Okay, so hit the yes button. It says completed. Hopefully that's all I need to do. If not, I have the internal memory saved on one of these cartridges anyway. FYI, when it comes to typing text into this keyboard, like creating file names or naming your programs, you have to hit the edit button. While you hold that button down, you hit this button for lowercase, this button for uppercase. Then you hold the edit button down, and you'll see there's letters underneath the patch selection buttons, and you just choose the letters you need to write, whatever you need to write, and that's how that works. So there are 12 screws that hold the bottom panel on. That guy there. Once you get them out, this is what you got. I did this a long time ago. In order to replace the keys, we have to get this whole keyboard section has to come out, which means all these motherboards will have to be disconnected, and the battery is on the opposite side of this one anyway. So let the fun begin. Okay, the first thing I did was take these 3 screws out. 1, 2, 3, and they are the short variety. This size guy, and then there's 4 in the back here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we still have to take these 2 out here. Okay, on this end of the keyboard is this little board here. I already took the screws out. Gotta be careful once you take this off. There are some little spacers here that have to be removed. You just don't want to lose those. They're little metal spacers. Like that, okay? So we'll take those guys out. I think the rubber grommets are part of the unit, so they don't come out. But make sure you take the spacers out and don't lose them. So after you loosen those last two screws, you can lift the board out carefully, and then over here I disconnected from the disk drive because the connector wouldn't come off the motherboard. I don't want to break anything. So under here, we're going to disconnect some of these harnesses so we can get access. The battery is right down there. That's it right there. See, that's the battery. That's got to be unsoldered. So I'm going to pull some more of these wires off. That'll also give me access to the keyboard. Okay, in order to gain clearance to the keyboard, I needed to remove this this power board as well. So there's 3 screws on the back for that, and there's a couple on the top, and then it'll just come off and lay it out of the way. So now hopefully I have clear access to the keyboard. There's nothing plugged into it, and I can unscrew it, take it out, and replace the 2 keys. Okay, here you can see I've got the keyboard out. Basically there's only 4 main screws that hold it in. One there, and one on the other end there too. And then these little brackets in the center. See over here. Stanchion right here. And there's a ground wire. You can't forget to put that back in. On this side, same thing. There's a stanchion there, stanchion there. And that's it, as far as getting it out. Now to get the keys out, there's this strip here, this white strip. You just have to lift that out, and that gives you access to slide the key back to pop it out. So let's see what happens. We don't want to lose all the other keys at the same time, but pull the strip out. Now any key you want to replace should be available to be removed. The keys that I'm replacing are for the note A right here. So let's see what we got. If I push it backwards, the key pops up, pops right out. And there's a little slot in there that this spring's supposed to slide into. So let's see what happens. Unfortunately, when I was about to install that key, my camera battery died. So basically, what you want to do is when you go to put the key back in, you line up this end of the spring. There's a little groove in the chassis, and you line it up, and you push it back. But you have to be really careful that this guy doesn't grab the front of the keyboard contact below. Otherwise it'll bend it. But you get it in position, you slide it back, you'll feel some spring pressure, and then you pop it in place, and you're good to go. It's a little tricky, but it's not too bad. So this is one of the keys that I replaced. That's the key, and then this is a little spring that goes inside. And what happens to these things, the spring goes in here, and it goes up against that post there. It's hard to see it, but it goes up against that post, and this end of the spring has a little groove in it. So it goes underneath this plastic thing there, and then it rests on this little post back here. Now, when these are brand new, the spring sits on top of this post, and what happens when they start to wear out, the other end of the spring wears a groove into this piece of plastic down at the bottom, which causes this thing to move forward, and then it slides down, and it causes the spring to have less tension and rattle like the way these were rattling before I replaced them. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it on film, but this is the new A key. You can see no more rattle, and this key here is the other A key. When I was in the process of replacing this one, B key fell out, and I had some difficulty getting that one to go back in. On the bottom of these keyboards, there are these little contacts, and when you're pushing the keys in, it's really easy to catch the edge of that contact and bend it, and that's what happened with that B key when I tried to put it back in. So I had to get in there and bend the contact back in order to get the key back in, but looks like all is good. Hopefully it'll play right when I put it back together. I've got the keyboard back together again. Now it's time to work on the battery. This is the main board, and the battery is right here on this side, and it's soldered in. So what I need to do is I need to unsolder these two connections here, and I'm going to try to do that using a soldering iron and a where did it go? A little solder sucker that'll pull the solder out once it's hot. We'll see how that works. So I basically bought this little battery holder that comes with a wire, a set of wires, and I soldered them to the positive and negative battery terminals, and it comes with a little Velcro attachment, and I powered it up and everything seems to be working just fine. And here's the old battery, 30-something years old, that I pulled off of the board. Well, it looks like we're good to go. The two notes that were rattling are fixed. The B note that I bent the contact on is working fine. So there we go, we have it.